This is Indonesia, the main island of Java, with 90 million people. It's too often thought of as a land of radical Muslims and terrorist bombings, contrasted with exotic beauty and tourist destinations. Underneath all this is a thriving artist scene. The most active are young people who are not represented by commercial galleries. They work in collectives, making video art, printmaking, painting, textiles, and performance. These two Australian artists are here to collect some of this art and find artists for a cultural exchange between two countries so close but yet so different.
Mustika 107,5 FM balik lagi di Afternoon Cafe, masih bersama Poppy, James, Alice. Sekali lagi, kalau James Hancock ini dia seorang kurator di Space 3 Gallery sejak tahun 2001 bersama seniman Indonesia dan kurator di Chippendale Art Space.
Chippendale.
Chippendale. Chippendale, yeah. Chippendale, ya.
Chippendale is the suburb.
Chippendale.
Yeah.
Oke. Terus ya kemudian ada Alice McAuliffe juga. Dia ini director dari First Draft Gallery tahun 2002. Latar belakangnya banyak ya. Yeah. Okay, tell me about Gang Festival.
In English, gang means a gang of people all hanging out together. But also in Indonesian, it means gung, which is alleyway, which is kind of where a lot of stuff happens in Indonesia, I guess. Like, so our festival in Australia in January is going to be about getting people into the street and doing stuff on the street and having people in the street making things. Try to get a bit of Indonesian action in Sydney.
The Gang Festival sent James and Alice to Indonesia as an experiment. They've never been here before, and with government travel warnings saying they shouldn't be here at all, it's sure to be exciting.
All this stuff is in my bag. It's basically an art exhibition in my backpack. Things are wrapped in bubble wrap. They're still getting a little bit damaged, little edges, and things are getting a little bit pressed, which is not great, but what can I do?
Their first stop is Ruang Rupa, one of the most dynamic collectives in the underground art scene. It's situated in the busy south side of Jakarta. Like all the spaces they'll visit, it's an artist-run initiative, a space run by the artists themselves.
Some of them live in the space and they sort of have provided a space for musicians and writers and people to come to them. Everything sort of happens within the one. Eating, sleeping, living, making, showing, all tends to happen within a one kind of a space.
The Ruang Rupa community have been invited overseas on many art exchanges. Few have heard of them in Australia, but they're widely known in biennales and festivals across Europe and Asia. Their own residency program ensures that they always have guests around to join in their discussions and philosophies that seem to go on 24 hours a day.
So where are we?
It's in the Ruang Rupa headquarters. When we develop Ruang Rupa, it's also to have a change on how people see art and also how people work in art. I think artists should not go for solution. I think artists should go just for questions. There's a problem in urban environment, social, political, cultural as well, and we try to approach it with visual arts.
Ruang Rupa's work is mainly focused on interaction between the urban community and the artists working together in a democratic way.
It depends on the leader for the whole ideas and the thinking, like this think tank, the think tank part. But in practice, I mean, everybody does everything.
We're making photo for passport.
At Jakarta Arts Institute, James is able to see where Reza and so many of Ruang Rupa's members started. There are no grants or arts council to support young talent, so many will go on to build their own artist-run initiatives. Their art is probing, dissenting, engaging, and challenging, straddling the gap between commercial and traditional.
So how do you feel about that?
About Jakarta.
About Jakarta, Bandung, and the whole young contemporary artist connection around.
Yeah, it's amazing in Indonesia. It's very vibrant. I didn't think it'd be so active.
Back at Ruang Rupa, Alice and James are nervous about hanging the collection they've brought.
I've got to finish my work. I'm not going to do the bubble wrap piece I was going to, but I'll do something else. It'll all be fine. I think it's just
This will be the first time any Australian culture has been exhibited here.
I think Australia is a very interesting culture because I don't know if I can call it culture. I don't know if it's old enough. How you as Australian see yourself with the old tension that you have culturally, I think it's very interesting.
We could have a little bit of introduction around your experience here.
Blah, 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 blah. We're part of an exchange project between the artist-run spaces of Sydney and the artist-run spaces of Indonesia. And what we're really trying to do is create connections between these two communities that are so geographically linked to each other, but often not so linked in a sort of a creative or communicational kind of format.
You know, exchange is always interesting because it's a long process. You know, like you can see the starting point, but you actually cannot see the end. You know, it's always developed like that.
Having finished in Jakarta, James and Alice journey into rural Java, to Bandung. It's surprising to find a city of 4 million people and a progressive new media art scene.
Yeah, it'd be great to see what you do as biosampler. Yeah.
This is one of the turning point for us actually. Since we made this clip, we got many orders. What we do is photograph the band and then we do cut and paste and we animate the graphic, as you can see.
From the magazine.
Where do you do all the editing and stuff?
We do all our editing here on our own computer. He's the one doing all the hard work.
20 weeks not sleep. And
No, you're not.
Even in the crowded house, he was just what we got. I share my dreams and all my stories. I don't think I need...
When we gave it to the band, we say no revision. This is artwork, no revision.
In the term of art industry, I think it's better if we call us new media art.
New media artists?
Yeah, of course. Do you want to see at my...
Yeah, I've got my club membership.
In Indonesia, there are no piracy laws. They keep up with the high costs of digital technology by sharing computers and downloading any software they can get their hands on. By using the internet, they get their finished work out to the world in a matter of seconds. Like this next group.
We are video, babe!
I'm a big fan of Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan once said that, what good am I if I know but I don't do? So I think that's why I make works. If I know something and I know that can be, it's a good message. It's not a message, but it's a good thing, then I want to show it to the people. Silence is about two strangers who meet and greet in one unknown place. And then the conversation was kind of good at first, but then got worse and worse in the end. and it's kind of related to how I feel being defined by the unknown power. I feel like I can really communicate, but not in a direct way. So it's very implicit.
The Gang Festival expects James and Alice to bring back art, but also to invite a selection of artists. Hopefully, one of the video babes will be included. Next on the schedule is Jogyakarta, where they hope to uncover a more rural underground art scene.
So yeah, these are perfect.
Thank you.
A blueprint, this part, and then silkscreen this part, yeah. So what did the teachers think of you doing blueprints for your final project?
Pikir ini bukan print make, bukan karya grafis. Ini seperti fotokopi biasa gitu. Tapi aku punya alasan. Ini sebuah perkembangan seni grafis.
What was your reasoning for doing blueprints?
Ini seperti di zamannya pop art gitu, kerjaan sehari-hari gitu. Saya nggak mau berpikir, saya nggak mau berpikir seni bisa menjadi sesuatu yang eksklusif.
This one's just really beautiful. Can you tell us about what this one kind of means?
Itu kan ada partai politik besar yaitu Golkar. Mereka selalu menyimbolkan dengan apa-apa dengan warna kuning dan hijau. Banyak menolak tentang anti Soeharto, tapi mentalitas mereka masih berpikir dengan cara pikir Orde Baru.
Right, so the blue is kind of, they've moved on, but they're still walking in the old feet.
These politically active art communities in Jogyakarta were the original inspiration behind the gang exchange. Many Australian artists have lived and studied here, including the co-founder of the whole idea.
The most interesting art is definitely coming from those critical communities who are making art at great risk to themselves. So they're taking massive risks in making the art. And I guess in Australia we need to take more of those risks.
Kemudian di tengah ini ada sistem yang korups, ada militer, ada kekuasaan, ada eksploitasi hutan. Kemudian orang mengelolanya hanya dengan mungkin komputer, dengan sekarang ini dengan jaringan global.
The name of this collective is Taring Padi. It means the itchy, agitating bit of the rice husk, and that's what they like to do, agitate. They agitate about things like education and political reform, making posters and murals with their opinions, which they hope will inspire people to take action, like demanding better water or electricity in the village. They've taken the role of frontline troops in the fight against greed and corporate capitalism.
And what you've got is a lot of protesters and people that just look really everyday humans, and a man here trying to throw very lo-fi Molotov cocktail back at this sort of oppressing force. What was his name?
Emsar Siahaan. Dia seniman, dia aktivis juga.
And activist as well.
Dia
Who died this year.
tokoh gerakan seni rupa baru.
The artist that Taring Padi have chosen to go over is a guy named Budi. He'll also be bringing a lot of the work from Taring Padi to Sydney. And the way they choose people here is they sort of have a list of people, and whenever there's an invitation to go travel somewhere within the world, the next person on the list is the one to go. So it's quite a good, fair system.
Hangat-hangat bersama terasa damainya
work of Taring Padi is different from the digital art of Bandung or the conceptual art of Jakarta. It makes use of practical, cheap materials, such as biros, pencils, and basic household paint.
Can't slip your foot, 'cause otherwise the picture will slip.
You can dance.
The samba. How long do you do this for? Just till we're out?
Langit berawan gelap menutup matahari, hujan kan datang membasahi segala.
Itu kita awalnya dari nongkrong. Misalnya nggak pernah kita misalnya untuk ngomongin sesuatu itu dengan formal, itu nggak semuanya nggak terbebani dengan itu. Semua orang bisa ngomong sambil rokok, sambil makan, sambil apa, semuanya bisa ngomong.
Sama. Bob, do you live here or you just paint here?
Saya tinggal di sini, melukis di sini, dan tinggal di mana-mana.
These are yours?
Ya. Konsepnya mencinta uang, membuat uang. Itu ide dari Teddy.
They're just really, I don't know, vibrant, dynamic, interesting, really varied, really playful, yeah, really raw. Some guys in Australia I know would really get into this. Would he like us to take them with us now? I'm leaving tomorrow. Or does he want us to make a selection now and keep that, like we want to choose them?
You want to choose them?
Yeah. And he can give them to you to take, or someone to bring later. I'd love to take them now, but if he's not comfortable with that.
Bob?
Bisa?
Kamu nggak apa-apa?
Tidak masalah.
Asik?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can take turn.
Ah, makasih.
Oh, dia tuh geleman.
Ada mata. I've really been very conscious of not just focusing on things that I would go for. It's certainly not overall of what's happening in Indonesia. I could never say that either. I think it's more about what we've been able to access and what we've been able to find in 2 months.
How are we going to package this? We sort of want to communicate the surprise we had when we came here. Like, we came with these conceived ideas of what we'd find artistically and creatively, but we actually found this other situation and was like, wow, these guys are doing that. And people start to think maybe, I won't go to bloody Berlin or London or whatever, or might go and check out Bandung.
The past 2 months have been about collecting. This next Australian stage will be about collaborating. At the festival headquarters, things have become hectic, racing to organise exhibition rooms, performance spaces, workshops, and now visas and accommodation for the coming Indonesians.
Oh, give us more!
The festival is the brainchild of this bunch of inner-city artists, set up as a voluntary project with virtually no funding, faced with council restrictions and huge rent hikes.
You're only a hop away from the city. I think it's only a matter of 5 to 10 years. You may not even know the suburb. I know there's not a lot of money to be made out of selling art, so these sort of buildings have probably outgrown them.
To survive in a city obsessed by real estate, the Australian artists have formed artist-run initiatives, or collectives, just like in Java. Sharing space allows them to keep their rents down, pool resources and network. They give them names like the Wedding Circle, Land Franchise, First Draft, Mechanici, Gallery 44. These are the spaces that will be welcoming the Indonesians.
I would like to see, all 4 artists be out here for 8 weeks.
And the decisions are still being made about which artists will be coming.
Someone else who will have to get a passport, and this might be the first time they've ever thought about doing that.
The Indonesian artists that are coming here will all have a different experience and a different understanding of Australia once they come here. And they'll bring with them their own individual and collective preconceived ideas. I think that reflects, 1, whether they come from cities, 2, whether they have been out of the country before. Some of the artists that are coming over haven't left Indonesia before, so that'll be really exciting for them. I think their practices, their histories all mean that they approach things differently. So you'll see that difference.
Kamu ketemu dia masih baru pertama kali keseringan kan aja.
Umurnya 20 tahun. Sekarang umurnya berapa?
Dia 18.
Oh, Becky! Bu Becky! Kok cantik! Kamu! I love you too. Fitri and Fitri, lovely to meet you finally.
Oh, it's great. It's really great. It's already, the gang is forming. Last night we had a joint dinner with all of the Indonesian guests and all of the artists that are collaborating on the festival. And there was a lot of cultural exchanging going on around the table. That was really great. And yeah, it's building up. It's very exciting.
They built me a room. This is very nice harem. It's very warm, it's very family. Even though 9 people who live here, they already know each other, but when I come and suddenly becoming of the family, and then Sierra said to me, yeah, you're already here, and then you're already our housemate or something like that.
To collaborate and produce work, the Indonesians are matched up with different collectives. The Taring Party group are headed to an old converted ice cream factory, now run by Mekaniki, probably the most socially engaged of all the Sydney collectives. They should be the perfect fit for Taring Party.
This is a good one. This one's going well at the moment. The Lion King. Lion. Yeah. Hopefully, if it keeps going the way it is, we'll probably be arrested for wearing that soon. A lot of people from the Mekaniki collective make money in building film sets. We run a screen printing operation here. People do computer programming. So it's just by pulling together and acquiring this space, we've managed to sort of further our own careers and things that aren't about making money as well, things that build communities.
Yeah, it's a giant snail. It's going to move around. The engine's going to sit in about here.
That's what engine is?
Yeah. When the engine's in.
The collaboration that's really central to Gang is heightened by the fact that we're dealing with Indonesian artists. So first of all, there's this language barrier. So you have to find a way to get through that. The art mediums, video, performance, drawing, design, it lends itself to finding innovative ways to get past those language barriers.
To address the cultural and language barriers, Rani is working on a video piece with Hasana about the problems of being misunderstood.
We make the setup like a Dutch still life painting.
Me and Rani both sort of came up with it together. We were sitting down at Julia's and we started beating each other up at the table, and then we thought that we'd like to make a video piece that was about bad communication between people.
They try to tell their own stories, but no one can really get what each other's talk. So they start to slap each other.
We begin to raise our voices, and then we start to get violent with each other, and it's all kind of really futile exchange.
I think it's just about, the condition of humankind. probably. Also, yeah, Hoisi, yeah? Yeah. Like, we can never, you know, like wars everywhere. We can never really, we always want to, like, we all believe in our own faith, but never really understand each other's faith. That kind of thing.
Toen ik klein was, gingen we altijd naar Frankrijk. Bijna elke keer.
Mais il vaut mieux parler directement de Sydney, c'est là qu'on est. Alors quand je suis
Toen ik
arrivée,
klein was, gingen we altijd naar
quand je suis arrivée,
Frankrijk.
non, c'est une bonne histoire.
Really amazing.
C'est une bonne histoire.
Went
Quand je suis arrivée
to
ici,
Jakarta in Indonesia.
j'ai rencontré plein
Toen
de
ik
gens
klein
super
was,
sympas.
gingen we altijd naar
Des gens
Frankrijk.
super sympas.
Elk jaar.
Ja,
Ja, this really amazing trip.
You don't really make money with art. Otherwise, you would be just selling paintings, you know. But we don't really sell paintings anymore. I mean, I don't sell paintings or videos, you know. Sometimes I get money from my video making or filmmaking, but that's not really my ideology behind it.
Look at it.
The festival is becoming more than just a festival. It's become an exchange where the underground art scene is building relationships beyond stereotypes and prejudices.
Tanya, hubungan di antara isinya politik dalam Australia dan Indonesia itu apa? Dia tanya. Gimana? Mungkin ada tema ada hubungan, ada link. Yeah.
Something that everyone here can say.
Hubungan Australia, Indonesia, semuanya pasti hubungan humanisme itu pasti ada.
Kalau menurutku pertukaran budaya, ya kita sharing, ngobrol, mana yang baik kita ambil dan kita bisa membuat budaya sendiri. Kita bisa membuat budaya sendiri yang baik menurut kita bersama.
You're listening to Alchemy, some fresh Indo hop from Psychopathic. And if you've ever wondered what the underground art scene in the country has to offer, here's your chance to find out. For the last 6 months, a group of artists from both Indonesia and Sydney have been swapping ideas, art, and pretty much sharing their cultures.
While you're here, what do you want to learn? It's a very good experience because before I came here, I had this stereotype of Australians. Yeah. Sorry, but I really had that stereotype of Australians. I think because of the politics also, like it's not been a good relationship, I think, from Indonesia and Australia. And I know that I cannot stereotype the people just by seeing the government, right?
These are the things that they want to do and they want to pursue that while they're here. So, you know, Gang is already so successful in that sense because it wanted to provide those opportunities and then just let them go, just let that happen and see what happens.
From the beginning, the festival has been about getting art out onto the street. The gang have 2 days to collaborate on producing a mural for Maze Lane. Touring party artists have used the opportunity to express some concerns about Indonesian-Australian border issues.
Cerita tentang kejadian yang baru-baru kemarin tentang nelayan Indonesia, West Papua yang datang ke Australia Barat dan mereka ditangkap oleh pemerintah atau polisi Australia dan belum tahu mereka akan dikembalikan ke Indonesia dan mereka masuk penjara semua. Dan itu sering terjadi antara batas antara Timor Leste dan atau Indonesia dengan Australia itu banyak nelayan yang tidak tahu batas antara laut antara mereka dan tiba-tiba ditangkap.
I think it's great to see political art because it's not really that visible here in Australia, and to see such a beautiful work in that nature is a great thing.
It's really great to have another culture here being very, very strong about what they're feeling. That's a good thing.
Having this discussion, I would definitely call that art, and I think that's the most effective art, is to discuss things, to have this community. It's no longer a product anymore. I think it's something that you live with. The way you live, the way you think is what is called art.
Finally, James and Alice have their opportunity to exhibit the things they brought back.
Putting on shows for other people, I've never done that before. It's always been about putting on stuff for me, and it's really great to be able to be really excited about a show with none of my work in it,
Getting everything together for a show is always hard work, and it's just impressive that it's been done. I think it's always really, really exciting to see your work in a country that's not your own. To see a whole new group of people, to see your work that have never seen it before is always a really positive experience for any artist, I would think.
When I do it, it's more like I make some interpretation around the punishment around the Bible itself.
And so you had a lot of religious thoughts going on, is that right?
Yeah, it's in Ramadan actually, and then...
So you would have been hungry, I suppose?
Yeah.
Like the ancient Christians used to do when they whipped themselves or something,
something like
flagellation, that kind of thing. To get a...
2 weeks I have like a big face.
Yeah. Right. Okay, you suffered for your art. Yeah.
Taring Party have brought a huge collection of their art from Jogyakarta, the biggest retrospective of their work ever.
Ini sebenarnya kita juga udah mempersiapkan ini lama juga dan dengan tema yang berbeda-beda setiap orang itu, misalnya ini ya rontek seperti ini, rontek itu setiap orang beda tema, misalnya ada yang tema perempuan, ada yang tema tentang kaum miskin kota, ada yang temanya tentang buruh, ada yang tentang kesehatan, pendidikan, semuanya udah tercover di situ gitu.
Dengan karya-karya Taring Padi mungkin yang melihat itu bisa di situ ada semacam solusi, ada permasalahan, ada pesan-pesan tentang seperti semua bersaudara, walaupun dari berbagai macam ras, dari berbagai macam suku atau negara, tapi tetap semua bersaudara tanpa perbedaan.
As you can see from the amount of work and the diversity of work in this room, there's a massive amount of people that make up Taring Padi and that contribute to that. Most of all, I just want to thank Taring Padi for the huge amount of trust that they put in us. It's all for sale and goes to Taring Padi, who survived by selling their artwork, which is pretty impressive for artists here in Sydney to learn from. But if you are interested in buying anything, my mum Jill is sitting over there, and just go and see her and put a deposit on things and have a drink and enjoy the evening.
Untuk
I think it's really inspiring to see young Indonesian artists who are so incisive about the way they see the world. It's very encouraging. I just wish young Australians would be doing very similar stuff.
This is amazing. This is just fantastic.
This is the first time, honestly, in maybe ever that I've been like properly stimulated by artwork.
There's nothing here I don't like. I would buy it all if I had the means.
The whole process of putting the festival together has involved everyone working together. I think that's really good for visual artists who, need to practice working together more. The relationships that come out of collaboration are lifelong.
The final day of the festival is about opening up the gang exchange to the surrounding community. And the momentum is starting to build.
Sini aku lihat lebih setara gitu loh di sini. Ya asik aja ya bisa, maksudnya komunitas perempuan di sini bisa buat acara besar seperti ini, bisa dan yang dilibatkan nggak cuma perempuan aja, cowok semuanya bisa jadi satu, itu asik banget. Sulit juga bikin acara seperti itu, misalnya di Indonesia untuk bisa saling percaya yang memimpin perempuan atau gimana, itu asik banget.
Okay, currently we're setting up for the festival. So we've got our barricades in place, which is the first thing that we did. We've got some issues with the bins because they've got no stickers on them saying how to recycle them. We've got our food stalls have just come in, and we've got a bit of gang art starting, so we're installing. The food eating area being set up as well as the kids' play station, and we have the art market getting ready to be put together. We've still got some cars in there, so we're still waiting for residents to come out to ask them nicely if they'll move their car. That's about it at the moment.
It's a big celebration in Chippendale.
This really sort of circles off my time in Indonesia.
I got all these lovely people who are helping out, and without all those people, no festival.
You get into this. Oh, you get into this. Oh, you get into this. It's time to ride on these guys like a mess.
It's very chilled, it's very great. There's been some really quirky things happening, like we've got Toe Cutter riding around on a bike giving out bread with a mobile soundtrack from Indonesia. It's actually the Indonesian ice cream man. And I think that's really way cool.
Okay, marble spoons, 3, 2, 1, go!
It's a really funny mix, there's bits of Chippendale community here and there's bits of the Indonesian community, and it's really good. Yeah, I'm really happy.
Oh, all the kids are dropping early.
It's exactly what I imagined it to be, and fun. It's very fun.
Uniform from Jakarta to keep everything in order.
After weeks of working and living together, their final collaboration produces the parade. Its theme explores issues common to both countries: surveillance and paranoia in a global war on terror.
nanti setelah kembali ya sekarang dan setelah kembali ke Indonesia, ke Jogja, aku mau lebih semangat lagi. Aku mau nggak hanya santai-santai aja, tapi ingin berbuat sesuatu yang lebih baik lagi.
Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah.
Indonesia's lots of things, you know, it's so many things, and Indonesia has so much to teach, and it also has a lot to learn. It's no different to any other country. It's, I guess, the colour and the personality, its proximity, those things make it possible right now to come to know Indonesia, and for Indonesia to come to know Australia, and for us to question what does it mean to be Australian, and for the Indonesians to continue questioning what does it mean to be Indonesian.
Dan saya rasa geng berhasil menemukan satu kekuatan di mana berkehidupan tetangga. I mean, to living as a neighbor, community, itu bagus gitu.
I see you in Bandung ya.
See you in Bandung.
Sampai jumpa lagi.
What I found is not only good work of art, it's not only good community of artists, but I found here is very many good things around friendship.
Should we start planning for next year? Should we into the gang office again?